We are literally seeing Donald Trump's health collapse in real time, and it has never been more clear as of the latest NATO event. We see Donald Trump literally basically insult Zelenskyy, calling him Putin multiple times. As we know, the war in Ukraine is getting worse pretty much every single day. And I can't imagine being a world leader and showing up and just to get insulted by the United States president. We also see Donald Trump call the Islamic Republic of Japan, which again could be related to him possibly having dementia or Alzheimer's. And also, we saw him when he was going to the event, basically walking up to the stage. We see him nearly losing his footing, and the person next to him had to keep directing him back to the center because he kept moving forward and moving back and wanting to speak to everyone, which is really dumb, as I would say. Technically, with Donald Trump, we know that he's been sleeping at multiple events. We've seen him have this disastrous meeting in China, and him basically, he wants to be building anything and everything. He wants to look like the kingmaker when technically the United States president should be concentrated on the people, not him trying to make America and Washington, D.C. look super incredible. I'll put basically all the clips right now.
President Putin said, I would love to meet in Moscow. And I said, I don't think, I have to put myself in his position. I don't know that he'd go to Moscow. Maybe he would. Would you go to Moscow?
It's difficult. There are a lot of Ukrainian drones there. That's right. It's dangerous.
He doesn't want to be hit by a drone.
Europe.
No, it's hard. It's hard to go to Moscow. It's a little hard. 100. I told the story yesterday. We had 111 missiles shot by the Islamic Republic of Japan. They were shot at the aircraft carrier.
Last year you called Russia a paper tiger, referring that they're not doing
Who
that.
Who did I call?
I'm from Telegraph UA, Ukrainian media.
No, give us a question, not for Zelenskyy. Give us a question for Putin.
Why is he attacking
Because I'm
Ukrainian cities
speaking
if he
to him
wants
today.
peace?
Yeah, how
Putin,
Why is he
Give me a
attacking
good, hard
Ukrainian
question.
cities if he wants peace?
when will he end this war?
That's a good question. I don't think I've ever asked him that question. I'm going to ask him that question.
Pане
Mr.
Президент,
President, what's the status of a drone deal between the U.S.
Say
and
it?
Ukraine? What's the status
By the
of
way,
a drone?
I will tell you, though, he's going to tell you that he wants it ended as soon as he can end it.
Do you
He
believe
wants it
that?
ended. He wants to end it soon. And I ask him, and we talk. I talk to him a lot. I talk to him a little bit less, but the relationship is very good. But I talk to President Putin a lot. He wants to end the war.
Mr. President, what's the status
A lot of people don't believe that.
Doesn't he
What's
want
the
all of
status
these-
of a drone deal between Ukraine?
What are President Putin's conditions for ending the war? Do you know what?
Well, they were certain conditions that were a little bit different. I think they're changing. I think they're probably getting a little bit better toward some of the things that you'd like.
And also, we see his childish behavior a lot. We know that a few days ago, he had an event in Minnesota where he basically tries to recreate his meme of him lifting up the weights. And just for an 80-year-old man to be trying to become popular again, we know that Donald Trump loves to have his ego boosted, which technically, if this video is boosting his ego, I'm talking about Donald Trump right now. And Donald Trump loves when the press talks about him. He loves when people love to insult him. He loves when people basically just talk about him left, right, and center. We know that Donald Trump also wants to put his face on Mount Rushmore. I'll put the photo right now. As you see on the far right, attendees that were at the Mount Rushmore event where Donald Trump had a terrible speech. I made a whole video on it again also. And as you see, Donald Trump's face is on the far right. We know Donald Trump literally wants to, at this point, what's next? He's going to want to build a diamond statue on top of the White House with him next to other presidents basically insulting him. We know that he's insulting Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, basically everyone under the sun. And basically him saying that he would never sleep in events. And that's the thing that Joe Biden does. And just for Donald Trump to be sleeping at the Knicks event and him sleeping at the UFC 250 event and him sleeping at cabinet meetings, which you got to keep in mind, these cabinet meetings are meant to be private, basically only for the people in the White House and important people, which I guess, and just for him to invite the news outlets and just to be sleeping at these events are not professional at all. And I can't imagine him all doing all this. I can't imagine what world leaders are saying. Like, I can't imagine what Vladimir Putin's thinking about Donald Trump. Wow, this guy is totally unserious. He's sleeping at events left, right, and center. And we've seen him thrash out at multiple interviews, like the Christian Walker, where she basically had to sit in the rain for hours just to wait for Donald Trump. And just for him to basically break a microphone. I mean, Donald Trump is basically a billionaire. Just for him to be having these crybaby moments and break a microphone, I can't imagine him showing up and him lashing out to the interviewer. He was basically screaming at her the last few minutes of the interview. I'll put the clip right now.
Country can never be great with a dishonest
Listen, we traveled all the way to Wisconsin for this interview.
And as we know, as addition, Donald Trump has been insider trading massively the last 2 years. As we know, he has 2 years left to his term. And he has basically made 50% of his net worth just last year alone off investments. He made $1 billion on crypto and $1 billion from just basically pump and dumps. You know, Donald Trump has been pumping Dell, Intel, gas, oil. Oil was up 50% for a certain amount of time when the war in Iran was at its peak. And now it's back down to normal. But also in addition, we know that the war in Iran is back in full effect. There was supposed to be a new release of the Epstein files, which coincidentally enough, anytime that there's a new release of the Epstein file, Donald Trump basically dodges it. And guess what? Starts a war with something else. What do you guess? Last year was the tariffs. Now it's the war in Iran. Then there was him taking over Venezuela, him capturing the president of Venezuela, and him killing the Shah of Iran, which is, look, I mean, honestly, it's horrendous. We also saw him basically letting a UFC winner insult Melania Trump, not Melania, him insulting Michelle Obama, and basically the UFC fighter just letting rampage on the stage. And I can't imagine if the UFC fighter called Melania a man. Imagine if it was the other way around, where it wasn't, oh, Michelle Obama's a man, but in fact, oh, Melania's a man. Donald Trump would have sued him and probably had this humongous rant on True Social. We know we've seen him rant on True Social at 3 a.m. doing 100 posts at 3 a.m., which is terrible. Donald Trump's old, very old, and him basically boasting that he has a 30 on 30 cognitive score and him sleeping at everything and him lashing out is not professional at all. Look, I'm going to cut the video short because I've mentioned a lot and I have proof. I mean, we've seen Donald Trump literally crumble in real time. This was Matt Berube from The Berube Show. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And this is really crazy. The goal is to have 1,000 subscribers. We have a humongous catalog of videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
She gets him, and she gets him. And the mother's screaming, darling, I love you, darling. And the father's looking, saying she has no chance. And she's like this, you see it? Drops him. And she's like devastated for the rest of her life. I feel badly in a way for my kids because every time my kids do, if they invest in a stock or if they go and do a bill, anything they do, because the presidency is so powerful, so big, everything, if they buy a cupcake company, well, the energy to make the cupcakes is, you know, sort of like, how's my energy policy? So therefore you have a conflict. Almost anything they do, if they want to buy a truck, if they want to buy, you know, if they buy an energy efficient truck, they have inside information. It's pretty tough in that sense. I tell my kids, stay away from as much as you can stay away from, but they also have a life, you know.